I remember playing this game back in the day in 2003 on my original Xbox, and I was so amazed by everything this game had to offer, especially the whole time rewind thing has always stuck in my mind as one of the coolest features I've ever seen in video gaming. So now that it's 2022 and I'm older now, I figured I would come back and revisit it to see why I love this game so much. And unfortunately, I didn't like it at all. Starting with the combat system. Combat system feels pretty good. It's not going to blow your socks off or anything. This is a very early iteration of what you would see in like the Assassin's Creed games. Because you can definitely see that Ubisoft was using that influence from this game to make the Assassin's Creed games. So when you play with the combat system, you feel like you're almost playing an Assassin's Creed game, but not as fluid as that. And it's okay, because this is a really old game, so I get it. But one of the biggest downsides with this combat system is just the clunkiness in the controls. Because what you have to do in order to target someone is you have to face your character in the direction of the guy you're trying to hit. And sometimes it can lose its targeting and want to target somebody that's just next to that one, resulting in you just messing up completely and really ruining a nice combo. What I really did like was the lack of hand-holding in this game. There was a lot of moments where I was trying to figure out how to attack a certain type of mob, because I would be introduced to a new guy that had two swords and he would always block everything that I did. So I had to learn to jump over him to hit him from behind. But then there'll be a different type of mob that's introduced, that like the spear guy, for example, where you can't jump over him because he'll knock you down the moment you try to do that. So you have to try to figure out how to outsmart him. And that was the coolest moments that I saw in this game that really stuck true to what I felt was awesome back in the day. So the combat has its pluses and minuses with that. Now the graphics, it really is outdated. This game needs a total rework, which they've been working on a remake of this game, but it's sitting in development limbo right now. So we don't even know when that's going to happen. It could be 1 year from now, or it could be 2 years from now. Since I only got this game for like $4 on the Steam sale, along with all the other Prince of Persia games bundled with it, I figured, why not get this? At least until we see that remake. But yeah, one of the biggest issues with the graphics is that you can't even really adjust anything, especially on the PC side of things. For one, there's no windowed mode. There's no 1080p. So like the lowest resolution you got is like 1280 by 748 or whatever it is. So especially during my live streams, you're seeing it in like the box form, which is like, the old school Nintendo 64 kind of look on the stream. But on my TV itself, when I'm playing it, it's like a widescreen kind of stretched out. So yeah, it's super dated. Also, the UI menu doesn't really work with a controller on the PC. So you have to grab your mouse and actually click on things. Otherwise, it's a pain in the ass to try to like click on anything in the UI. So it really doesn't feel like this game was built for PC at all. And it's almost just like a really bad port of a console game. Now, when it comes to the story, oh my God, it's pretty terrible. And like one of the biggest issues that I've seen with this is that it blatantly copies the Aladdin movies. Basically, the guy you're playing is Aladdin, and he's trying to go get the genie's lamp, which is AKA the dagger. The bad guy, Jafar, uses the dagger and unleashes hell, basically. Then out of nowhere, your guy decides that he wants to try to reverse things and make it right again. Because in the beginning, it just doesn't seem like your character, it really is trying to do anything nice. He seems like an asshole the entire time. And it just overall just seems like you are playing the bad guy in a sense, because you're doing all these things for the bad guys. Then all of a sudden he's like having a change of heart. I don't know. Like it's so weird, especially how he treats Jasmine, basically, because Jasmine is like, hey, I need to take the dagger so I can fix things. And then your character's like, nah, fuck you, bitch. You stay over there and I'm going to play with the dagger all day and I'm going to figure stuff out on my own, So that's basically the story. And it's so underwhelming, and the voice acting is not good at all. Overall, like just being an adult and playing this game compared to when I was a child playing this game, it's just night and day difference from what I see in the story. Because I was actually impressed with this when I was younger. It's scary to think about it like that. And this is why I'm really enjoying coming back to these really old games, because I really do truly want to see why I loved all these games so much when I was younger. Now let's talk about the overall gameplay loop in this game. It's literally the same thing every single time. It's do a jumping puzzle, get through the jumping puzzle, a bunch of enemies pop up, you kill the enemies, a puzzle solving part where you have to figure out how to climb out of an area or get the door open or whatever it is to progress to the next area. And then you do a jumping puzzle again, rinse and repeat. So eventually it just starts becoming predictable. It's always the same loop every single time. And there's only one moment where I felt like the game was smart, where your main character talks crap about Jasmine, basically. I'm just going to call her Jasmine from now on. I don't remember what her name is. But she tells your character to go and find the way around. And she takes basically the easy route. And he starts talking all this crap about her taking the easy route and how he's going the hard way and all that. And I thought that was really cool. That was like one of the coolest moments in the entire game.
I'll meet you at the baths. She orders me around as if I were a servant.
There we go.
It's my own fault.
He's finally talking shit about her.
Oh, have you been waiting here all this time? I didn't realize you meant these baths. I went to the other baths, clear across the other side of the city. I had a lovely wash and a rub with fragrant oils. Too bad you weren't there. Stop talking to yourself!
But after that, it just became kind of stale. And then I was hit with the biggest issue in the entire thing. I got stuck on this one part where I was supposed to swing across to go hit the buttons on the wall. But the rope would just randomly decide that it's not going to want to follow a path of straightforward and instead go in a weird diagonal way, forcing my guy to basically just fall into a wall and just die. Like there's no way around that. So I reloaded my save and then I was able to get one button pushed, but then I go to the other button and I'm not able to do that one because it changed the diagonal again. So this bug really ruined my entire session. So I ended up just watching the ending on YouTube because I couldn't figure out how to get this to work. And it's crazy because I'm not the only one that went through this, because I've seen several other YouTubers doing a playthrough and getting stuck at that same exact spot. So it's shocking that Ubisoft never fixed this. But then again, why am I shocked? I shouldn't be surprised about what Ubisoft does. They always mess it up in some way. So whatever. It is what it is, I guess. So overall, I'm really not impressed with this game. The core loop is just so predictable, like I said, that it just makes it not really fun to do anymore because you're always doing the same thing every single time. And the combat a lot of times becomes clunky in certain areas. Like it'll be working for like 2 seconds and all of a sudden it goes to being terrible and you're getting stun locked and then killed over and over, or you end up in a jumping puzzle that you can't figure out how to get past. So you'll spend a lot of time just dying over and over and over, doing the loop time thing just to understand what you did wrong and try to like get to the thing, which is not a big deal, but I could see why this game had systems like this, because it basically lengthened out the game longer than it needed to be because of how difficult it was to like not only figure out what to do in certain areas, but also just get through some really, really difficult fights. So at the end of the day, I'm really not that impressed with this game anymore. I saw why I liked it so much, and it's the rewinding of time thing is so awesome. I wish more games did that, and I'm hoping that the remake capitalizes on this and makes it better to get rid of the stupid bugs that I was facing, and also to make the combat a little bit more crisp and smooth, on top of having a little bit more exploration stuff to do in the world. So we'll see what happens. But after this, I don't think I'm ever going to play this game again, not until it's remade. So I give it a 2 out of 5.